Blessed, blessed, blessed. That was an awesome word. Awesome word. Enjoyed listening to our fellow minister just go into the things that, what are we giving up when we decide to do certain things outside of the will of God. And so today, we're of course going from the awesome book of Psalm. Psalm is one of my favorite books. So I have chapter 37, verses 17 through 26. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to jump right into it. Most people who know me know that I absolutely love the King James Version of the Bible is what I grew up with. However, for this particular group of scriptures, I am going to read from the New International Reader's Version because I think this translation just gives the power to, the things that this will speak about. The power of those who are evil will be broken, but the Lord takes good care of those who do what is right. Those who are without blame spend their days in the Lord's care. What he has given them will last forever. When trouble comes to them, they will have what they need. Whether there is little food in the land, they will still have plenty. But sinful people will die. The Lord's enemies may be like flowers in the field, but they will be swallowed up. They will disappear like smoke. Sinful people will borrow and don't pay back. But those who are godly give freely to others. The Lord will give the land to those he blesses and will destroy those he curses. The Lord makes secure the footsteps of each person who delights in him. Even if that person trips, he won't fall. I'm going to say that again. Even if that person trips, he won't fall. The Lord's hands takes good care of him. I was young and now I'm old, but I've never seen godly people deserted. I've never seen their children begging for bread. The godly are always given and lending freely. Their children will be blessed. And I'm coming from the topic, all that glitters is not gold. And when I say that, when you think about this particular psalm, it goes into basically how you look at things and how the evil people prosper. And for instance, you're paying your tithes, you're going to church, you're doing the things that you need to do to kind of be walking in the word. And then you talk to your neighbor who done lied and cheated on taxes, or, is getting things under the table, and he's driving the Benz, and he done took the family to Hawaii, and, he done all this stuff. They have the house is just banging, and you got Goodwill reject. You don't know what Hawaii looks like. You was lucky if you can make it to the shore to put your, toes in the water. And a car, look, you're driving a 2000 Camry that's probably on 300,000 miles right now. And you're looking like, what? What am I doing? Like, I'm in the wrong profession. I'm in the wrong business. I need to do what he's doing and move on forward. And that is where you have to understand. This particular grouping of scriptures is telling us to be content that the Lord will provide. And I'm guilty of not being content. Like, I'll be content for a minute, and then I start trying to figure out, well, if I do this and maybe do that, or I try to get at this person, or I try to hound this person, or, do whatever, I can get this faster. And that's not what happens. Because when you actually insert yourself into what God is doing, he just takes his hands off of it. And then you wonder why you're delayed. You wonder why it's taking even longer. You wonder, like, Lord, where are you? Well, you've inserted yourself into, like adults say, you've inserted yourself into grown folks' conversation. So when God is working something out, He's the adult, he's the parent, and you need to stop inserting yourself in grown folks' conversation. Because normally what happens as a child, when you inserted yourself in grown folks' conversations, we got a spanking, we got sent to bed, we got some type of punishment. So the toy that we wanted to play with, the ice cream that we were going to get, we no longer going to get because we inserted ourselves in grown folks' conversation. And it doesn't mean that we're not ever going to get it. But at that point in time, you're in a holding pattern. You're in a definite holding pattern. Because now it's like, okay, I need you to understand that I am the adult. I'm the parent. I'm over you. I'm directing your path. So since you don't want to do like I've asked you to do, I'm gonna just I'm gonna take my hands off and let you handle it. So, and I've been in a situation, I just came out of a situation that way where I just kept putting myself into it and I just wasn't content that the Lord would provide. I wasn't content. I knew it. I had left it at the altar, but because I thought I knew better, I went and picked it back up. So something that would have already manifested because I decided to insert myself. Now it's been delayed because I have to learn that lesson that he will provide in his timing. And his timing is perfect timing because his timing means we're ready to receive the abundance and the blessing that's coming forth. So what we need not to do is worry about Susie down the street, Joe around the corner, the Joneses up in the suburbs, trying to keep up with them. Because what they have is temporary. I think a lot of us also forget that Satan blesses as well. So you think you're looking at someone who's committed wrong and said, God, why is God letting them do whatever? Satan is given abundantly to them because he has them. He doesn't have to worry about them. He's not chasing after them. So he's going to let them, they're doing the things of the earth, of the fleshly things. So they're giving him, he's just like, go ahead, go for it. It's all yours. However, when God blesses you, it is everlasting. It is long term. And when he does it, you don't have to worry about it. Am I going to be able to have it 5 years from now? Or what's going to happen when he's allocated my time on earth, what's going to happen to my children? When he blesses you, it's for generational. It's your children, your children's children. It is generational wealth that he blesses you with and blessings. So also what this scripture tells us about is being content, and the Lord will provide your needs. And see, the key thing is to understand that your needs, what you may think your needs are, and what your needs actually are two very different things. I may think that I need Starbucks every single day, but I don't. It's a want. So when I find myself in a position where I can't have my Starbucks, or I can't do this, I'm like, oh Lord, I need this. No, his answer is, no, you needed to wake up this morning. No, you needed to be in your right mind. No, you needed to have the activity of your limbs. No, you needed a roof over your head. No, you needed to eat. Yes, and we do get our needs and our wants mixed up. So we think that God has us in this lack position when he's preparing us so that once he blesses us, not only are we going to appreciate it, but we will know how to better manage it. Some of us don't have the $1 million and the blessings and all that because we can't do well with the $10 he done gave us. And, and it's not that we don't. Some of us have lived in lack for so long, whether it's something others have done to us or we've done to ourselves. Once we get that little bit of money or that little bit of fame or whatever, we just are jumping on it. And we're like, yay, I got it. and you don't understand. It's just like, no, you have to be a good steward behind it. You have to be, always conscious of what God's will is. Because when you align yourself with God's will, it all falls into place. I may want a $500,000 home, and I think that it's just a bomb and that's just sufficient. That's just enough. But God is saying, no, you're going to be in that $500 million home because you need the extra space, because I'm going to be sending people your way that may need housing, or that you can be able to do the things you need to do so that you can help or whatever. So what we anticipate and what God anticipates are always different. So we have to learn to be content, allow him to provide, and to know what his will is for our lives, and bring our standards up to his. Not the other way around. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to ask for that big want. You're like, wait a minute, I just only want this. I only want this little car. Now, I'm going to be honest. I do a lot of work. I do a lot of things. And I said, Lord, I would like an SUV. And I was very specific about what it is. And I said, now, for right now, I may have to drive this Camry to get from point A to point B, but I'm waiting for you for when it's the time for you to bless me, how you're going to bless it. So I haven't settled on that, but I know I'm anticipating now. But there's other areas of my life that I just haven't done that with, honestly. And I know most people say, oh, I'm a transparent person. And it's just like, and I struggle, just like everyone else. Like, I've been in the church and ministry since I was a child, but I still struggle with those day-to-days of, Lord, we got to have a conversation. Like, this ain't happening fast enough. And then sometimes being able to accept when he gives you the answer. And sometimes it's like, wait. And that's hard because you think you've arrived. You think I've been serving you all this time and I've been laying in the gap and I've been doing this for this and whatever. And then he has to remind you, well, you're doing it for the wrong reason. Because if you have to list all of the things that you do, you're not doing it from the abundance of your heart. You're doing it to get recognition. And that is not what I'm about. So what happens is that we chase after things that are glittery and sparkly, and we go after fool's gold because it's all glittery and sparkly. And it's like, ooh, this is where I'm supposed to go. We know what happened with Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road. Come on. It was sparkly. It was bright. It was shiny. It was, nice color. But it wasn't what you anticipated and what you expected, because you were looking to get out the window and he had the door open, or it was the crawl space to get you to the next point and to the next level. And so when the bad guys win, quote unquote win, it's not the end of the world. Basically, it's the word playing out. It's, what he said, what he's done, whatever. Like, it's basically when the bad guy wins, it's your time to now hunker down and see where your walk is. To see where you are with the Lord. Are you doing things out of his walk, out of his purpose, that's not propelling you into your divine purpose? Are you feeling lost, and it's like the minute somebody happens and you had a tailspin, and then now you're in this depression because you thought you should have got that promotion, and God is saying, that's not the promotion I wanted for you. I have so much more. So when you think and you see other people who have gotten things unjustly, or just because, you need to look at where you are with your walk. And don't get it confused. We're going to have challenges every single day. You're going to sometimes question the walk. You're going to wonder, what do I need to do? Why am I here? And that is okay. It is okay to have those days. It is okay to have those moments. But then you got to snap right back, and say, okay, Lord, where am I lacking? Is it my prayer life? Is it my studying? Is it how I treat others? Is it how I be around others? And take that criticism from him. Take that correcting from him. Because once you become in line with what he has for you, when he decides to lay it on the line for you, when he decides to show the world what he has put in you and birthed in you and elevates you to that next level, once he does that, nothing can hinder or stop that. Nothing. And all of your enemies and all the people that was winning, they're going to just disappear and they're going to go poof. They're the stepping stools. You understand? The bad guys, the adversities, the trials, the tribulations are the stepping stools for you to get to where God needs you to be. It's strengthening. It is keeping you grounded. It's keeping you in that word. It's keeping you on your knees. And I don't mean any other ways. I'm talking about in prayer. Because sometimes we got to spend some time on our knees. And, like I said, we've gotten older and we can no longer rely on the prayers of our parents and our grandparents. We have to now pray for ourselves and for others and intercede the way they interceded for us. We got to intercede for others and intercede for ourselves so that we can get back in alignment to what we need to do. So when the bad guys win, or when it doesn't look like it's whatever, the only thing you need to do is, what, I may be lacking here. It's time to get back on my knees. It's time to get back in communion with God to find out where I'm lacking, so that when he blesses, not if, when he blesses, I am prepared and I don't have to be delayed in moving forward. So always know that what glitters ain't gold, and the preparation is on your knees. If you get nothing else, that preparation for the battles, the trials, the tribulations, the blessings, and everything is on your knees. It's giving him thanks. It is giving him praise, and it is being grounded in his word. Okay, I'm wrapping up. It's been a blessing speaking with you. I love you guys. You give me such great joy, love pouring out to you. But, we have another woman of God who's coming to pour into us, to bless us, to just feed us additional. And she will be coming from verses 27 to 40. She'll be wrapping us up. It is Minister Peterson, and her Periscope handle is at MINKL Peterson. It is in my title. It is in the comments. Please take your time. Go follow her. Listen to what she is going to impart on us as we move forward. Love you, bless you, and be safe.